Your garden looks amazing from above, but 6 inches down, it's dead. And the scary part, you won't notice for months, maybe a year. By the time your plants start failing, the damage is already done. I'm about to show you the 15 mistakes that kill soil slowly. So slowly, you don't even see it happening. Most gardeners make all of them, and the worst part, fixing it takes 2 to 3 years. Here's what I want you to understand. If you stop making these mistakes today, you'll spend the next month fixing soil that takes years to actually work. You can't hack your way out of this, but you can prevent it. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and share this video. Let's save your soil. Mistake number 1, leaving soil bare. In nature, healthy soil is almost never exposed. Look at a forest floor, look at a meadow, look at anywhere life thrives, always covered, always protected. Your bare garden bed, it's screaming for help and you just planted it there. Here's what you can't see. When soil is exposed, 3 things happen simultaneously. First, surface compaction. Rain hits bare soil like hammers. It smashes the structure, creates a crust, prevents water penetration. Seeds can't germinate, roots can't penetrate. Second, evaporation. Exposed soil loses water 5 times faster than protected soil. Your plants are thirsty. You think you need to water more. You actually just need mulch. Third, and this is the dangerous one, microbial collapse. The fungal network that feeds your plants, it lives in the top 1 to 2 inches. Sun exposure dries it out. It dies. Your soil's immune system vanishes. By summer, your bare bed is compacted, dry, and lifeless. The fix is absurdly simple. Cover it, always. Leaves, wood chips, compost, straw, anything. The moment you harvest, cover the soil. The moment soil is exposed, the clock starts ticking. Don't let daylight touch bare soil. Cost free to $5 per bed. Improvements are visible in 2 to 3 weeks. Mistake number 2, tilling too often. Tilling loosens the soil. That's true. It also destroys everything living in it. And you probably think that's good. Loose soil equals hoppy roots, right? Wrong. Soil structure is fragile. It's built over years by fungi, roots, and microbes creating networks, tiny channels, water highways, nutrient pipelines. Tilling is a bulldozer through all of it. Here's what happens. Immediately, fungal networks shatter. Mycelium threads that took months to develop, gone in one pass. Within days, oxidation spike. Soil microbes suddenly have access to organic matter they haven't touched in years. They eat it all at once. Your soil carbon drops 30–40% in a single season. Within weeks, moisture loss. Those fungal networks held water. Without them, water drains or evaporates instead of staying available to roots. By season 2, soil collapse. It's become dust, compacts easily, hydrophobic, water beads off instead of penetrating. And here's the psychology trap. Tilling feels productive. You're doing something. The soil looks perfect, so you do it again next year. By year 3, you have dead soil that requires constant amendment to function. The fix? Stop tilling. If you absolutely must break up compacted soil, do it once, gently. Use a broad fork, not a tiller. It loosens soil without destroying structure. Better? No-till beds. Compost on top. Let roots and microbes do the work. Soil structure can recover in 2 to 3 seasons of no-till. Mistake number 3, using chemical fertilizer like plant food. Chemical fertilizer is plant drug. Fast, effective, addictive, destructive. This is what it looks like from above. Year 1, you apply NPK. Plants explode, you're thrilled. Year 2, same amount, less impressive growth. You add more. Year 3, you're using double what you started with. Growth is stalling, your soil is dead. But you don't see dead soil. You see plants that need more nitrogen, so you add more nitrogen. Here's what's happening underneath. Chemical fertilizer is a salt, high concentration salts. When you add it, it dissolves, creates a nutrient-rich solution. Roots drink it immediately. But here's the cost. The microbes that normally live in soil, they're osmotics dependent. High salt environments kill them. So the fungal network that's supposed to feed your plants gradually starves out. Now your plant is dependent on you to spoon feed it nitrogen because the soil can't. The organic matter depletes because you're not building it back, you're just adding salts. After 3 to 5 years, your soil is nutritionally dead. It only works with chemical input. It's exactly like junk food. Works short-term, destroys your system long-term. The worst part? By the time you realize the problem, the microbial community is so degraded it takes 2 to 3 years to recover. The fix? Switch to organic matter.
compost, aged manure, leaf mold, let the soil organisms feed your plants. It's slower at first. By year 2, your soil is self-sustaining. You stop buying fertilizer. In 1 to 2 years to feel the difference. 3 to 5 years to forget chemical fertilizer was ever necessary.
Mistake number 4, throwing away leaves. Every autumn, most gardeners do something objectively insane. They rake all the leaves, bag them, throw them away. Then they buy soil amendments and wonder why the bill is $500. Meanwhile, forests don't hire landscapers. Leaves fall, soil improves, repeat. Leaves are free fertility. They're carbon, they're organic matter. They're the food that builds soil. Here's what leaves do. Microbes eat leaves. As they decompose, they become humus, the stuff that makes soil hold water, hold nutrients, and hold structure. Fungi fruit bodies, mushrooms, break down the tough material. Their mycelium spreads through the soil, feeding roots. Worms shred the leaves into pieces. Their castings are the most nutrient-dense thing in your garden. Insects shelter under leaves. They become food for birds. The whole ecosystem awakens. By spring, that pile of leaves has become a layer of dark, crumbly material that's worth more than any amendment you can buy. What you threw away was literally money. This is what happens when you throw it away. You have bare soil in autumn and winter, compaction, erosion, no food for microbes, microbial populations crash. Spring arrives, you start growing. Your soil is hungry. You add compost, then more compost. $300 later, you're still behind. The fix? Leave the leaves. Rake them into beds, or shred them and use as mulch, or compost them, but keep them on your property. 1 acre of forest produces about 4 or 5 tons of leaves per year. Every one of those tons improves soil. Cost? $0. Organic matter increases measurably within 1 season. Soil improvement is obvious by year 2.
Number 5, using wood chips incorrectly. Wood chips are incredible. Also, people use them wrong and destroy soil. Here's the confusion. Fresh wood chips mixed into soil equals nitrogen depletion. The microbes eating wood need nitrogen. They pull it from soil. Your plants starve. Fresh wood chips on top is magic. Perfect mulch, protects soil, feeds microbes, improves structure. Same material, different placement, opposite results. Here's the rule. Never mix fresh wood chips into soil. Always use them as surface mulch. When you use them correctly, they're the best mulch available. Slowly decomposes over 2 to 3 years, creates a rich humus layer, feeds fungi, suppresses weeds, regulates temperature and moisture. When you use them wrong, they're nitrogen vampires. The cost difference matters too. Fresh chips on top equals negligible cost per year. Most arborists give them away. Mixed into soil requires compost or nitrogen amendments to fix, equals $100 plus to correct the mistake. Visual evidence is obvious. If you're using chips as surface mulch and you apply them every year, your soil gets better every year. If you mix them in, your soil looks worse the year after. To fix this, use wood chips as a 2 to 3 inch surface layer. Keep them off plant stems. Leave space. Reapply every 1 to 2 years. Never, ever mix fresh chips into soil. Benefits are visible immediately. Obvious improvement within 1 season.
Mistake number 6, pulling out roots after harvest. When you harvest a plant, you usually pull the whole thing out. Seems logical. Plant is done, remove it, plant something else. Except the part you can't see, the root, is doing the most important job. Here's what happens when you leave roots in the soil. Microbes and fungi colonize the root, start decomposing it. It becomes food. Within weeks, the dead root creates channels through the soil. Water moves through these channels. Air moves through. Roots of next plants grow through. Over months, the root becomes part of the soil structure. Carbon goes into the ground. You've actually built soil instead of depleting it. By next season, the area where roots decomposed is richer, more porous, better structured than the surrounding soil. When you pull roots out, you remove the carbon that was supposed to stay underground. You destroy the channels that water uses. You eliminate the food that fungi needs. You actually compact the soil because there's a void where the root was. The difference is measurable. After 3 years of pulling roots out, your soil structure is worse. After 3 years of leaving roots in, it's measurably better. So when you harvest, cut at the soil line and leave the root in. Decompose in place. Or if you need to remove the plant completely, dig out the top but leave the root ball below the surface.
Your soil does the work. You stop doing work. Improvements are visible by season 2, obvious by season 3.
Number 7, composting the wrong way. Most people's compost bins look like a swamp. Slimy, anaerobic, smells like death. Meanwhile, properly composted soil looks like dark chocolate. Crumbly, living, smells like forest. Same ingredients, completely different outcomes. Here's what creates the swamp. Too much water without air creates anaerobic decomposition. Your pile becomes an oxygen-free zone. Bacteria that don't need oxygen take over. They produce hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg smell, and they don't break down material efficiently. You end up with a sticky, useless sludge that's harder to use than raw compost. Here's what creates the chocolate: balance, layering, air. Greens, kitchen scraps, grass provide nitrogen. Browns, leaves, straw, paper provide carbon. Air allows aerobic bacteria to work. They break down material fast. The process is efficient. The result is rich. The common mistakes: too many greens, not enough browns, create sludge. All greens, grass clippings, creates mat, becomes anaerobic. No turning, becomes compacted, no oxygen. Too wet with no aeration, becomes slime. Good compost should be moist, like a wrung-out sponge, not wet. When you dig through it, it should be warm. It should smell good. If your compost smells bad, it's anaerobic. Add browns, turn it, add air. The fix: 3-to-1 ratio browns to greens by volume. Turn or aerate every 2 to 3 weeks. Keep moisture at 50%, not wet, not dry. Timeline: good compost ready in 6 to 12 weeks. Bad compost takes months and still sucks.
Mistake number 8, using pesticides that kill soil life. Pesticides are designed to kill insects. What they actually kill is broader. Every organism in the soil eats insects or their larvae, or is an insect. Spray pesticide and you're not just killing the pest. You're killing soil beetles, which eat fungi and algae and regulate microbial balance. Springtails, which shred organic matter and feed nematodes. Beneficial nematodes, which eat pest eggs. Earthworms, which build soil structure. Predatory insects, which hunt pests. Ground-dwelling spiders, which are the best pest controllers you have. And you're poisoning fungal spores, bacteria, and the microbial network. The goal was to control one pest. The result is soil that can no longer regulate itself. Now you have an out-of-control pest problem, so you spray more, which kills more beneficial organisms, which creates more imbalance, which creates more pests. It's exactly backwards from what you wanted. Here's the timeline. Year 1, spray. Pest controlled, soil is quiet. Year 2, same pest returns worse. More beneficial predators are dead, you spray more. Year 3, you're in a cycle. Spray every month, pest pressure keeps increasing. Meanwhile, your soil's natural immune system is destroyed. Stop spraying. Instead, build soil life. Rich soil has natural pest control. Predatory insects kill pests without you doing anything. It takes a season for the system to rebalance, but once it does, pest problems basically disappear. Pest pressure drops noticeably by season 2, obvious improvement by season 3.
Mistake number 9, watering shallowly every day. Daily shallow watering creates weak plants. This is counterintuitive because the plant looks okay. It's growing, it's green, but underneath, it's fragile. Here's what happens. When you water shallow, just the top inch, roots stay shallow. Why would a root grow down if the water is up? Shallow roots are weak roots. They dry out fast. They're vulnerable to heat. They have less access to nutrients. When you water deeply once or twice a week, you create an incentive. Roots have to grow down to find water. Deep roots are resilient roots. They access minerals and water from deeper layers. They anchor the plant. They're healthy. But there's a secondary problem with daily shallow watering. The surface stays constantly moist. This creates a perfect environment for fungal diseases, mold, powdery mildew, and the compaction. Every time you water shallow, the surface gets hit with water, compacts a bit more. After a month of daily shallow watering, your surface is a crust. The fix: water less frequently but deeper, once or twice per week. Deep saturation. Let the top inch or two dry out between waterings. This forces roots down, prevents surface compaction, prevents fungal issues. Applies to irrigation too. Drip tape should deliver water slowly to deep zones, not quick spray on top.
Cost actually saves water, less evaporation from deep soil. Root improvements are visible within 2 to 3 weeks. Plant resilience obvious by month 2.
Mistake 10. Compacting soil by walking on it. Soil is alive. It's porous. It breathes. Step on it, and you're killing it. Every time you walk across a garden bed, you compress soil. Air pockets close. Aggregates, soil clumps that provide structure, smash together. Do it once, barely matters. Do it every time you garden, and by mid-season, your soil is compacted. Compacted soil can't hold water, it drains past or sits on top. Can't hold nutrients, they wash away or are locked in chemical forms roots can't access. Can't be penetrated by roots, they hit the compacted layer and stop growing. Is lifeless, fungi and roots can't move through it. Walk through a forest. The soil is soft, spongy, full of air. Walk through a heavily used garden. The soil is hard, dense. Where nobody walks, it's softer. That's the difference between protected and compacted. Most gardeners stand in their beds, water them, harvest from them, compact them constantly. Then they wonder why the soil gets worse every year. Never walk on growing beds. Use pathways. Dedicate space that's okay to compact. Mulched walkways, stepping stones. Use raised beds so you can reach everything without stepping in. Or use deep beds where you stand in pathways and reach into the middle. Compacted soil loosens within 1 season if not recompacted.
Mistake 11. Removing weeds too aggressively. You think weeds are bad. They're often good. Not all of them, but most of them are doing something important. They break compaction. Deep-rooted weeds, dandelions, plantains, wild radish, grow down 2 to 3 feet. They crock hard soil. They create channels for water. They aerate. When you remove them, that compaction closes back up. They accumulate minerals. Certain weeds are mineral accumulators. Comfrey, nettles, plantains, they have roots that reach deep. They pull up minerals that have leached down. Their leaves contain these minerals. When they drop leaves, those minerals come back to the surface. Your shallow-rooted plants get access. Remove them, you lose this nutrient cycling. They protect soil. Bare soil gets compacted and erodes. Weeds cover it. They prevent erosion. They feed pollinators. Many weeds flower. Bees love them. Flowers are food for bees which pollinate your crops. The smart approach isn't to eliminate weeds, it's to manage them. Let weeds grow in specific areas, edges, pathways between rows. Remove them from areas where they're competing with crops. You get broken up soil, mineral cycling, erosion protection, and pollinator habitat. You do less work because you're not constantly fighting. The fix is selective weeding instead of eradication. Remove the aggressive competitors right next to your crops. Let the others serve their purpose. The soil benefits accumulate immediately.
Mistake number 12. Never adding organic matter. Soil is hungry. It eats carbon. Stop feeding it, and it slowly starves. Every year you grow food, you remove biomass. Plant material goes to harvest. It leaves the system. If you don't replace that carbon, soil slowly degrades. Soil organic matter is the foundation. It holds water, it holds nutrients, it feeds microbes, it creates structure. Most garden soils start with 1 to 3% organic matter. Optimal is 5 to 10%. When you grow food and don't replace the carbon, organic matter drops. It happens slowly. Year 1, no visible change. Year 2, no visible change. Year 5, your soil is noticeably worse. By year 10, you're fighting to maintain productivity in what used to be rich soil. Add organic matter continuously. Compost, mulch, cover crops, leaves, aged manure. At minimum, 1 to 2 inches of compost every year. It's better using different sources of organic matter. Leaves 1 year, compost another, cover crop the next. This creates diversity in the organic matter. Different materials break down at different rates, feeds different organisms. Obvious improvement by year 2. Soil is noticeably better by year 3 to 5.
Mistake 13. Growing the same crop repeatedly. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Same spot, 5 years. Your tomato soil is now tomato sick. Here's what happens. Every plant is a specialist. It eats specific nutrients in specific ratios. Tomatoes eat nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in certain amounts. They also produce chemical compounds that inhibit competing plants in the soil, allelopathy.
Grow tomatoes year after year in the same spot, and the nutrients tomatoes prefer get depleted first. The compounds that suppress other organisms accumulate. The microbial community shifts toward organisms that feed on tomato roots, including pathogens. By year 3, you have tomato-sick soil. The plant grows slowly, disease pressure is high, yields drop. You add more fertilizer thinking it's a feeding problem. It's actually a community problem. Rotation breaks this cycle. Year 1, tomatoes, heavy feeder. Year 2, legumes, nitrogen fixer, adds nitrogen. Year 3, root crops, deep feeder, different nutrient needs. Each plant type eats different things, leaves different residues, creates different microbial communities. By year 4, when you come back to tomatoes, the soil is different, healthier, more diverse. Tomato-sick compounds have broken down. The microbial community has rebalanced. Tomatoes grow better. Disease is lower. The fix? 3 to 4 year rotation minimum. More plant families is better. Don't even need much space. 4 small sections. Each year shift to the next. Timeline? Obvious improvement by season 2 of the rotation.
Number 14, letting soil dry out completely. Microbes are living. They need water. Let soil dry completely and they don't die, but they go dormant. This happens naturally in deserts, fine. But if your soil goes dormant mid-season because you forgot to water, you've paused your soil's life. Here's what happens. Fungi stop growing, bacteria go dormant, earthworms burrow deep. The whole ecosystem hits pause. When you water again, it takes a week or 2 for everything to reactivate. Do it once, fine. Do it repeatedly, and you're constantly disrupting the system. The microbial community can't establish. It keeps getting interrupted. Meanwhile, fungal networks that take weeks to build get destroyed by drying. Worms have to resettle. Bacteria have to recolonize. It's like constantly starting your garden from zero. Consistent moisture is the soil. Not wet, not dry, like a wrung-out sponge. Mulch helps. It keeps moisture stable. So does outing organic matter. It holds water. Set a regular watering schedule and stick to it. Or use drip irrigation on a timer.
Mistake number 15, treating soil like dirt. Soil isn't dirt. Dirt is what you sweep off the porch. Soil is alive. It's a community. Minerals, sand, silt, clay, that's the skeleton. Organic matter, that's the food. Water and air, that's the circulatory system. And then the living part. Bacteria, fungal networks, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, earthworms, insects, roots. Thousands of species, billions of individuals. All of them talking to each other, trading nutrients, breaking down material, building structure, creating the foundation for life. When you treat soil like dirt, something inert that you can toss around, compact poison strip, you're not managing soil. You're destroying a living system. And the painful part? It's slow. You don't see the destruction immediately. You see it as years of degradation, plants struggling, you adding more inputs, soil getting worse despite your effort. But here's the good news. Soil is also regenerative. It wants to be alive. Stop doing these 15 mistakes I just showed you. Start doing the opposite. And within 2-3 years, your soil will be transformed. Feed plants without you fighting it every step. These 15 mistakes are silent. They take months or years to show. But they're also fixable. Some of them you can fix this weekend. Some take a season, some take a year. Your soil is waiting for you to stop hurting it. That's honestly all it needs. If this shifted how you think about your garden, smash that like button. Subscribe if you want to grow real food in real soil. Tell me in the comments, which mistake did you just realize you're making? Which fix are you starting this weekend? Thanks for watching.